Modeling skills are important, but you know what else is important? Being able to present your work in a cool way. Today I'm gonna show you how to render this like this. Let's go. Let's use this scene I made last week as an example. So you just rendered everything with colors, and you want to render a clay version with a wireframe on top. Let's start with the clay material. Let's make a new material. Doesn't matter where you make it, just make a new one. Doesn't matter what it's called, just remember what it is. Let's not adjust the material just yet, let's apply it first. To do that, you go to Layers, Material Override, and choose the material we just made. Here we go. Now let's adjust the default material so that the shape reads a little bit better. I usually up the specular and lower the roughness just a bit. I don't like when it's fully white, so usually I add just a little bit of tint to it. Something like this. It could benefit from putting a light behind it. There you go, now the shape is more readable. If you can't find material override, you might be rendering with Eevee. You would have to switch to cycles for it to work. In Eevee, since there is no override, you'd have to assign materials manually. As far as I know, maybe there's an add-on that does that, or maybe let's hope that in future blenders, you will be able to override materials in Eevee too. But what you can do in Eevee or in Cycles is add wireframe. To do that, I usually just search for freestyle edge, or you can just go to render properties. I enable freestyle edge right here. I don't change anything here. And then I go to layers and enable freestyle here. And this is where you're gonna set up all the freestyle edge style. But first you need to tell Blender which edges you want to be rendered as freestyle edge. You do that here in edge type. We don't want silhouette, crease, or border. We want to mark the edges that are going to be freestyle manually. Edge mark is what allows us to do just that. Now let's mark the edges. Select your object. In edit mode, select all the edges. Right click, mark freestyle edge. Now all of the edges are green, which means all of them are marked as freestyle. If you don't want any of the edges to be marked as freestyle, just don't select them, don't mark them as freestyle, or you can clear freestyle edge. You won't see any changes just yet, but let's adjust the look because I already know what I do. I change color of the line. I use transparency of like 0.8. I don't do too thick of a line, maybe 1.6. It does depend on how detailed of a scene it is. If you wanted to have two types of edges, for example, a thicker one for a silhouette, you can add a separate line type right here and set it up the way you want to. Now I just press render. Don't worry that you don't see the wireframe just yet. I had to Google it. I literally had to Google what is wrong, how do I fix this? Turns out you just need to wait because it's a separate pass that is applied after the entire render is done. Here you go, a clay render with a wireframe, as promised. By the way, I made this model for a game where you need to protect the sleeping bunny from ghosts waking it up. You can play that game on my itch.io. I made it together with Passive Star. I made the asset and he did all the Unity magic. Thank you for watching. If you like this video, give it a like and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!